Now this is the coolest thing that Subaru has done in a long time. They've taken their very versatile but somewhat dorky looking station wagon and turned it into a jacked up adventurous SUV with a real personality. This is the new 2022 Outback Wilderness.
Subaru is a lot of things, but cool generally isn't one of them. So this new Wilderness model is a breath of fresh air. The Outback is a very versatile wagon, but the Wilderness takes it to a SEMA-like concept car level and leverages the brand's excellent all-wheel drive system in a more exciting way. With off-road vehicles super hot, every automaker wants a Jeep to sell, so to speak, and this is now Subaru's. It slots in at the top of the Outback's 7 trim offerings and receives the most powerful engine, the 2.4-liter Turbo 4, producing 260 horsepower and a healthy 277 pound-feet of torque, considerably more twisting force than a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. The Indiana-built Outback Wilderness has a starting MSRP of $38,120, including destination, and checks in here at $39,965 with the only package available, adding a moonroof, this large multimedia screen with navigation, and reverse automatic braking, which stops the car to avoid a rear collision.
An impressive 9.5 inches of ground clearance, an off-road tuned suspension, all-terrain tires, front skid plate, and a more advanced all-wheel drive setup are complemented by this car's extremely cool looks, which Subaru absolutely nailed.
I love this combination of crystal white pearl, matte black hood decal, and copper-colored accents. There are also unique front and rear bumpers, larger body cladding over the wheel arches, and hex-designed LED fog lights. The roof rack has also been upgraded and is capable of supporting one of those neat roof tents. When you first see it, it looks kind of crazy because it sits so high on smallish 17-inch wheels and projects so much bigger than a normal Outback. But all of this really works and draws positive attention. The Wilderness treatment continues inside with seats wrapped in a water-repellent material called StarTex with the logo embossed into the headrests. The copper color is used in the stitching and as an accent, the headliner is darker, and gunmetal gray replaces the chrome touch points. And then there are these sweet-looking all-weather floor mats with logo. The rear seat back is also wrapped in waterproof material, and the waterproof cargo tray is the perfect place for muddy shoes. So kudos to Subaru for taking the Wilderness theme as far as they did and not cheesing out. They really hit this package out of the park. When you sit in the driver's seat, you feel like you're behind the wheel of a real SUV. The added lift also makes it a perfect height for getting in and out. With the Boxer engine facilitating Subaru's signature symmetrical all-wheel drive system and a set of Geolandar tires, I knew the Wilderness would feel great out here in the mud, rocks, and ruts, and of course it has. Like everything I've been throwing at it is a piece of cake. Deep water, technical trails, it's all good. Just choose an X mode for the terrain you're traversing, and the electronics trigger the appropriate wheel torque distribution, CVT gearing, and automatic hill descent control for confident driving. Once you hit speeds over 25 miles per hour, it automatically switches back to normal with no stopping required. I just wish it had its own real buttons to engage it. They're up here in a not so prevalent spot on the screen. An off-road driving page complements the snow dirt and deep snow mud modes. And though there's only one skid plate in the front, a differential guard is available as an accessory. Speaking of which, there are 73 accessories available here covering pets to bikes and everything in between. You can even still get a CD player if you wish. But all of the enjoyment I've found off-road and in this Outback's design gets a wet blanket thrown on it by the transmission.
So there's an unfortunate ending to this Outback Wilderness story, and it centers around the CVT. Short for continuously variable transmission, it has no actual gears, and it's been a favorite of Subaru's now for decades, mainly because it's an easy way to boost MPGs, and it's fairly inexpensive to produce. And there are some really excellent CVT applications out there. And then there's this. And I'm surprised by how much this one really degrades the driving experience. Not so much in around the town driving like this where it's barely perceptible, but on the back roads, where you constantly have to press the accelerator to find any usable power, leading to this on-off driving sensation that no one would want. It's really aggravating, and it's something you could easily miss on a quickie test drive at your dealer.
It's sad because it feels like you're driving around in eco mode, except there isn't one. And there's also no sport mode to combat that feeling of lifelessness. The only way to fight it is to use the paddle shifters. The manual mode faux gearing here is a little more aggressive than in the XT models with a shorter final drive ratio. But man, if Subaru gave this thing even a 6-speed auto with normal programming, it would make a world of difference. This one is focused on fuel economy, which drops down from 23 mpg city 30 highway on the regular model to 22 city 26 highway here, still on regular unleaded. On the bright side, the longer travel suspension makes for a stellar ride quality no matter what road you're on. It's also luxury level quiet inside. And it's really big. You forget how much space is in an Outback until you start to play with its cargo area and rear seat configurations, replete with remote seat levers. Having enough room is not a problem, and the rear seats even recline. It's so cool, too, how Subaru uses these triangles, both inside and out, to help you locate tow points and tie downs. And I haven't felt as assaulted by safety tech in here as I recall. The Starlink system is how you turn these features on and off, like lane departure warning and lane keep assist, which in Subaru's case can drive me nuts. It's not very good at its job. I'd also appreciate a full 360-degree camera here as opposed to the 180-degree front view monitor, especially when off-roading. Steering response LED headlamps with high beam assist are also a nice get. The sound system is above and beyond. Check out all of these unique settings to draw the most out of compressed music. And in general, the Starlink system is a good one. But you guessed it, no wireless phone projection and no standard wireless charging pad. This little space is tight anyway, but I hate how the USB cable gets in the way. For under $40,000, this feels really well stocked and super smart. I can see why owners fall in love with the user-friendliness. But somehow, we need to convince Subaru to reprogram the CVT. Otherwise, proceed with caution. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.